Hello, Alan here. The commanding of units in Conqueror's Blade seems really straightforward, which is usually charging headfirst into combat and suppressing the enemy with numbers. But as many of you are aware, when you backstab any character in this game, you deal almost double the damage while taking next to nothing back. This is why flanking can be so powerful and most of all satisfying where you get away with it. This is one of those tactical maneuvers where you'll learn to explore opportunities that presents themselves in the ebb and flow of a game, and as a byproduct, you'll learn to observe the battlefield more before rushing into combat, which puts your troops at risk. The units that we should use to flank are those who can readily exploit weaknesses. They have to be fast to react to opportunities, and they must hit hard when they hit. These units are either cavalry, shock troops like the Condottieri Guards, or charge troops like the Paladins or Expedition Knights in Frontier. So, let's analyze the following recording, which has an absurd number of successful flanks. So hopefully you can learn a trick or two for yourself after the video. So I'm starting out with my Expedition Knights. I'm gonna come up this siege engine which was just placed a while ago. I'm going to search for any chances if I could bring my units up. Normally the enemy starts with weak, low tier units, so I don't worry about getting too close. But I see the enemies retreating right here, so I'm just going to follow up and see if I could find any opportunities. So I see this hero coming up and I dodge out of his way. So next I charge into the units that he left over. And basically they have no chance of retaliation. The Expedition Knights are just way too strong compared to these tier 1 pikes. So I see lots of heroes in front of me. First it is this short sword which just dodged my ultimate. But unfortunately my allies took him out. I see more heroes in front. So this is a very unique and interesting way of using charge. And that is to use F3 formation on Expedition Knights vertically. Basically snipe out any hero, even if they try to hide behind their own unit. But this is also one of those techniques that you also have to get really lucky and the right situation to use. So here I'm just gonna help protect the point. The enemy is using a charge unit, so I'm letting my allies' low tier units take a charge. And now I'm just gonna slowly crawl in and take them out. So here if I was more aggressive just then, I could have just taken him out. Unfortunately, I didn't. Okay, now I have point A. Our team would either go to the supply point or point B, so I need to observe where the majority of them are going and follow them. Let's see what we have here. The enemy is blocking the way to the siege engine. Let's see if we have any opportunities here. And they don't really have a strong force, but there's a lot of enemy heroes here. So I use my ultimate and take him out. And then the rest is some range units and some low tier halberdiers, which I swiftly take out. So are my allies going to go to B or supply point? I'm pointing towards B because B is a better option here. Yeah, but as you can see, my ally returns to fight back at the siege engine. So I'm gonna support him, so he could support me on B point. Okay, I just saw that. That was the Imperial Pikes, and they're definitely gonna charge in. So I'm gonna wait for an opportunity to take them out once they finish their charge. And yes, right about now. While they're not facing me, That's some nice damage. Okay, I know my allies are gonna hold this point. So I'm gonna support them, go in, deal a little bit of damage. Okay, now I see the majority of my team is going to B point, and I'm gonna follow up. So far there wasn't anything really challenging, and it was a breeze. Enemy's lower guards came in and then just went away again. Apparently he saw too much of our units, so he's looking for his own opportunity. Okay, next point, C point. But before that we must take the supply point. So I'm gonna wait all my allies so they could gather. I'm gonna wait for my opportunity. I'm waiting until my allies create a critical mass and actually have the ability to push to supply point. Or else it'll be worthless if I just go in and make all my units suicide. So I see some Imperial Pike charges and some weak units. But because there's more than 3 heroes over there, I don't dare to put my units at risk of going in for a suicide charge. So I'm gonna wait for my next opportunity. Patience is always key. The 2 heroes don't take the trap. If they come in and I ult them, I can just take them out easily. Okay, now they spread out more thinly. I think I'm gonna have my opportunity sooner or later. Okay, I see the Imperial Pike charge. Well, the Imperial Pikes going one way. The enemy team seems to have some troops back at supply point, but I'm going to take my chances. This is like the perfect opportunity. And my patience has been richly rewarded. Okay, so I see more Imperial Pikes coming, so I'm gonna collect my troops, prepare them, just in case they come for another charge. And apparently, they came in and suicided. So I'll just take my opportunity and take them from the back. Another perfect charge. And that's another entire unit of Imperial Pikes gone. So C point. I'm gonna wait for my allies to gather around again. So one thing I want to point out about Expedition Knights and the Longsword hero playing next to each other is that Expedition Knights have an innate healing ability, whereas the Longsword hero always has Mercy of Heaven, which also is a healing ability. Combined together, they sustain extremely well. Even if they take half damage, they can return to the battlefield in less than 30 seconds if they have the healing ability up. So here I see a little chance, maybe I could take out some units. But 3 heroes are coming from me, so I dodge them. I take 3 losses, but it's okay. Okay, my allies are here. Now, I'm gonna wait for my opportunity. I see them charge in, they finish their ability, and I can take them out. I see some spear sergeants in the back, so I'm gonna think about walking around, but apparently they killed the hero and they just leave. I follow in behind them, and I see some incorrectly placed Expedition Knights that are looking not in my way, and I charge in right behind them and deal some extraordinarily great damage, but I didn't see the other Expedition Knight group behind them, so I try my best to dampen these damage, but no, I couldn't survive this. But luckily, as a result of me staying at this choke point, the enemies didn't muster enough forces to take back C. So the loss was not to be expected, but a good use of my expedition knights. So after I respawn, there's only 1 point to go, which is home base. So I take out my Forte Braccio pikes and babysit them towards the next point, as I really do not want to lose them on the way, as they are very prone to be. So I look through this path, there's not many allies here. Forte Braccio pikes are not very good alone, and they must be behind a, you could say, unit density of allies to be useful. So once I see absolutely nothing, then we're gonna take the long way around. I thought about following them, but they just go into supply point, so I'm gonna take the long way around to go to C point, and then head to their enemy camp. Yeah, they're very, very slow. I think one of the slowest units in the game. So here I try to speed them up with my skill. Okay, now I'm here. So one weakness of the Forte Braccio pikes are... Okay, just saw Imperial pikes, so I just moved away. These are very, very afraid of long-range weapons and Imperial pike charges. Ooh, these two heroes had to come in. I used my ultimate, push them down, and an XV and kill one of them, and my allies... I think that's the Janissaries that took him out. So 2 hero down. Although I lost 1/3 of my unit health. But I can't really go back to supply point at this point. So I'm waiting here, having about a 10% heal every single 20 seconds. Moving to allies which have a better protection against long-range fire. So let's see what we have. My allies are pushing up. I'm also going to push up as well. And Imperial Pike Charge. I can't really do much about this, except for try to postpone their advance. And the enemy longsword hero uses his ultimate ability to push back our allies' lower guards, and now I'm prone to enemy range attack. So while I still have, let's say, more than a quarter, I'm gonna try to do some damage, but no, I think I need to put them back into supply and heal them back up. And then I saw that. After getting back up, I'm gonna position my pikes to deal with these expedition knights. But no, they're taking even more heavy losses from maybe just that one musket guy who continues to use his explosive charge on me. So at this point I only have one more unit, and they are my Javelin Sergeants. They are very good in the beginning of the game, and especially around supply points. But in this situation, they might not be the best unit, but it's the last unit that I have. So I'm gonna walk around to this flank and prepare to throw some javelins and take out some ranged units at the back if I can. I took out like 2 or 3 archers, but it's not the best way to use it. and the enemy is not coming closer, so I'm just gonna pick out further away enemies. Barely any effect either. My allies are really doing the thing right now. That was a 7-man kill. Okay, I see a cav charge from the back, so I prepare until they stop, and then take out, say, another 3-4 of them. And I move my units back to supply point to resupply. So now I'm gonna come down and help my allies. Take out some heroes. Make sure they don't come into point. I missed my ultimate there. But yes, I see my javelins are reloaded, so I'm gonna command it back in. So the enemy is gathering up a stronger force while our allies are still majority ranged troops. So this might be a very difficult win, but apparently not. Their heroes are also staying very back and not coming in. So we take the win in this battle while I take out the very last parts of their ranged units. And that is our victory. So in this battle I got around 200 unit kills, but this Mohel player apparently got 11 kills and 12 assists. We did roughly about the same damage if you consider hero damage and soldier damage, but I think he was better than me in this match because he had more participation points. Did you enjoy the recording? I hope I opened your horizons a little, so you can think about using some flanking tactics in the future. Remember that the essence of flanks is to follow your allies' advances so that they draw the attention of your enemy, and only when they tunnel vision in combat do you follow up with your flanking maneuver. It takes practice, patience, and some luck to get right. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, or comment below if you have questions. And if you play on the Lotus Ash Sea server in Frontier, I invite you to join my house Aegis to group up and fight together. The details are in the description. This is my first YouTube video, so any comment would be appreciated. And as a bonus, I'll leave a footage of one of my best plays. This was Alan Apogee, and thank you for tuning in.